Welcome to Teen ypww, Lesson 1, Our God is Holy, Part 1. Please write down Isaiah chapter 5, verse 16, Luke chapter 1, verses 74 through 76, Psalm chapter 71, verses 19 through 24. The central verse says, "But the Lord of hosts shall be exalted in judgment, and God that is holy shall be sanctified in righteousness." And that's the King James Version. "But the Lord Almighty will be exalted by his justice, and the holy God will be proved holy by his righteous acts." Isaiah chapter 5, verses 16 through Isaiah chapter 5, verse 16, the NIV version. Now let's turn to Luke. Verses 74 through 76. "That he would grant unto us that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear, in holiness and righteousness before him all the days of our life. And thou, child, shalt be called the prophet of the highest, for thou shalt go before the face of the Lord to prepare his ways." Now let's look at Psalm chapter 71. Verses 19 through 24. "Thy righteousness also, O God, is very high. Who has done great things, O God? Who is like unto thee? Thou which hast showed me great and sore troubles, shall quicken me again, and shall bring me up again from the depths of the earth. Thou shalt increase my greatness, and comfort me on every side. I will also praise thee with the psaltery, even thy truth. O my God, unto thee will I sing with the harp, O thou Holy One of Israel. My lips shall greatly rejoice when I sing unto thee, and my soul which thou hast redeemed. My tongue also shall talk of thy righteousness all the day long, for they are confounded, for they are brought unto shame that seek my hurt." He says, God who is holy deserves our reverence. Today's focus says students will learn more about God's attributes of holiness. What's up? Holiness is a term that should not be feared or viewed as a hard task to achieve. No, quite the contrary. Holiness is a term that should be embraced and appreciated by all believers. Synonyms for holiness are sacredness, faith, purity, goodness, and righteousness. God's holiness and love for us are like a soft, warm security blanket. We are assured knowing that our God is righteous and will always treat us in a right kind of way. He is a kind, loving Father who desires that every believer feels safe and secure in his or her heart. Why? God wants us to trust that he will do right by us. You may ask, how can a holy God love me when I have not done everything right every day? Great question. God made us, and he knows our likes and dislikes. He knows those of us who like vanilla ice cream and those of us who prefer chocolate ice cream. He purposely created us with different proclivities. Variety is the spice of life. When we make mistakes, God expects us to learn from our mistakes, recover from them, move forward, and mature. God is holy and perfect in all his ways. God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. Often, when we think of God's characteristic of being holy, we think of his judgment of the unrighteous. However, our lesson today is not about judgment, but trust. The righteousness of God is a trusted source of comfort for the believer. The righteousness of God means that his every action is consistent with his character of doing things in the right way. As we learn more of God's expectations for our lives, we try to become more efficient at living a righteous lifestyle. Every day, we should be evolving and becoming wiser in the ways of righteousness. Yes, mistakes happen. Never fear total rejection from God when you make a mistake. Just be quick to repent and continue seeking to live the righteous lifestyle that God requires. When you learn better, the expectation is that you will do better. God's ways are as high as the heavens are above the earth. God also does many amazing things because of his holiness. The goodness of his acts is so great that nothing or no one can come close to comparison. Through his holiness, God blesses the land and the people. There are multiple passages of scriptures that declare the kindness of God. In Psalm 91, verses 14 through 15, the psalmist declared that God had been with him when he faced trouble and revived him. God always brought him out and honored him. Let's look at Psalm 91, verses 14 through 15. That reads, "Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him." Proverbs chapter 24, verse 16, the Amplified Version says that a righteous man falls 7 times and rises again. The Message Bible interprets this passage to express that no matter how many times you trip, God's loyal people don't stay down long. Soon they are up on their feet again. Let's rap about it. God reveals his plan for our lives when we seek him. We learn of his holiness as we seek to know more about him. Romans chapter 1, verse 17 describes this incremental revelation of his righteousness as our journey from faith to faith. Our faith increases as we mature in our Christian experience. We learn to live by faith in God. Luke chapter 1, verses 74 through 76 encourages us to serve God without fear. This passage goes on to say that we should strive to live in holiness and righteousness all the days of our lives. Psalms chapter 71, verses 19 through 21 declares the magnitude of God's righteousness and the capacity of his love for his children. We have the awesome privilege to abide safely under the comforting protection of his righteousness. On another facet of the holiness of God, believers must be conscious of God's righteous indignation. We should reverence God by being obedient to his instructions and commands as much as we possibly can. Righteous indignation is a reactive emotion of anger over mistreatment. It is akin to a sense of injustice. We see this scenario demonstrated in the Old Testament in Numbers chapter 20, verse 8. When God told Moses to speak to the rock, Moses did not. Instead, he hit the rock. Moses didn't reverence God by obeying this command. God was not pleased. One of the consequences of Moses' failure to reverence God in this directive was that he was not allowed to enter the promised land. And the point is, The holiness of God is one of his wonderful attributes. Believers should be comforted by this kind aspect of God. Students will learn the benefit of having a holy God as our Father. We can always trust that God will treat us in a right kind of way. There is protection and there are opportunities for teens to develop as they learn more about the righteousness of God. He is our loving Father who covers us with his righteousness while we learn more about the ways of holiness. Now there are 3 questions that I want you to write down and answer in your time. What is the best benefit of serving a holy and righteous God? That was question 1. Question 2 says, how can believers enjoy the righteous protection of God? I'll say it again. How can believers enjoy the righteous protection of God? Question 3. Why is it essential to reverence God in our words and actions? Answer those questions in a notebook that you have for ypww for teens. And God bless you. And thank you for joining me today.